Hi guys, welcome to RPS Tech Talk, where we discuss, take apart guns, and hopefully fix them. If we can't, then we'll get the parts for it, but we'll definitely fix them. Okay, so today on the bench we have a Crytac. I believe it's a CRB if I remember right. I already started taking it apart a little bit. Took the mag catch off, took the mock bolt off, and the secondary selector and the motor plate with the 2 screws. Okay, so this is the one that the customer reported the jamming, and I don't know if you guys saw the pictures on the Instagram, and it had a bunch of plastic debris all over the hop-up unit, jamming a BB and a bunch of plastic pieces in the hop-up unit. Yep, this is it. This is the gun. So today we're going to be taking it apart and seeing what's on the inside. First off, you want to remove your motor, motor connectors. Okay, let's put that aside. Okay, so let's take off the grip. Okay, there's always going to be either 2 or 4 screws on the bottom, on the inside of the grip. You got to make sure you take those all off. If the screws fall into the gearbox, it's perfectly fine. You could always just tap them out and they'll fall right out. It won't do any damage to the gearbox if they fall in while you're taking it apart. Of course, if you put it back together with the screws in the gearbox, then yeah, you're gonna have a really, really bad time. Oh, you always want to make sure you keep all your parts in a tray. It's really, really important not to have anything floating around. Okay. Oh, and on the body, you always want to make sure you want to look at. If you look really closely on the outer diameter of the body, right, of the body pin in the middle, you're always going to see little grooves all the way around, right? And if you find the side that has the grooves on it, that means the pin goes out that way. And of course, everybody can make a mistake. Apparently somebody put that pin in backwards. So if you see grooves on both sides of the body, that means somebody jammed the pin in both sides. So makes it a little difficult to identify which side is supposed to go out. It only goes out, this pin only goes out one way, and one way only. If you try to if the smooth side of the pin comes out of the one side, don't try to jam it all the way through, because otherwise you will never get it out of the body. Okay, so now you just 40-degree angle in the selector, gearbox pops right out. Alright, so on the other side of the gearbox, there's the Ambidextrous Selector Cam. Okay, there's that one. Okay, and before taking it all the way apart, just got to make sure you grab the spring guide out. Okay, and I'm gonna start taking it apart. Okay, so now you just got to make sure that this screw is undone. And let's see. Pop that in there. All right, so this is already out. Okay, one, okay, we got 2 more. there's the gearbox. This has already been changed. As you can tell, it has a Kratos piston on it. So all the gears are fine. You always want to make sure you take the gears out and, you know, look for debris or anything like that. As you can see, all this gunky grease, you know, left it in there so that you can see what happens in the gearbox and stuff with the stock grease. This stock grease always comes in Crytex and stuff like that, so you want to make sure you clean it off, you know, every time you're putting it back together. You want to make sure that the gearbox goes back together clean, because otherwise it'll cause a lot of gunk, and it could cause your gun to slightly slow down, just slightly, but and a lot of people like changing the gears on these Crytek gearboxes, and they're really hard to change the gearboxes. I mean the gears on these gearboxes, only because they have this self-shimming system over here with the little spring right there. See, yeah, right there, the little spring. That's a self-shimming system that they have in there. So that keeps that in place, but unfortunately, when you get into higher speeds, like 29, 30 RPS, that spring actually can compress. I mean, I can push it down right now and compress it a little bit, and it could actually throw your alignment of the spur a little tiny bit off. And I don't know if you can see, this one has been pushed quite a little bit. You can see, like right here, it's a little wear right between them. You can see, I don't know if you can see right here, the spur actually taps a little tiny bit of the sector gear. Not enough to cause a huge amount of damage, but just enough to cause a mark. You know, just remember that if you're gonna upgrade any of these guns, like the the Crytex with the Crytek gearboxes and their own gears and stuff, if you're gonna use these gears, you got to make sure, you know, you don't exceed the 28, 29 RPS on these. I mean, you can push them pretty hard, but not super crazy. Okay. Well, I mean, if anybody has any questions and wants to add on here, like, you know, like, hey, you know, what else do I do and stuff like that, you know, what other guns have I done, you guys are more than welcome to ask. You know, I got my monitor over here watching all the questions, you know, so she'll let me know if you guys have any questions and stuff like that. So you might hear her talking randomly, going, hi, hi, see, just like that. Okay, so on this one, so you can see the piston, I already changed the piston head. I just wanted to show you guys inside of here, and everything has been cleaned up and changed. So now we just have to put everything back all the way. Okay. So now, okay, we want to make sure every time.
We do have one question.
What's up?
What is your favorite pistol to work on, or favorite gun in general?
Favorite pistol to work on would be, well, definitely a high kappa, but one of the more challenging ones that I've ever had is the KWA USP. Those guns are just wow. I can't say those words, you know, on here, you know, live. But they're extremely difficult, only because there's, just for the hammer system, there's, I think I remember right, 6 years just for the hammer assembly area. And that's just to have the decocker, the hammer, the trigger bar, and the valve knocker. That's just to activate all that. Oh, also when you're closing the gearbox, you want to make sure you're pushing the nozzle to release the pressure from the gear, so it'll just snap on.
You have a message from Clone. For him, your favorite gun is going to be the 870.
Well, yeah, it's kind of like a love and hate relationship with that one. I'm not gonna lie.
Old Betsy served her time, didn't she?
Oh yeah, she's still up and running. That's not the problem. The problem is that with the 870s, when you first get them, the TM 870s, when you first get them, they're shooting 345 to 348. They're definitely under 350 when you first get them. But what happens is that it's like a big block of aluminum, right, that acts as the hammer that strikes the valve opening for the gas to be released, right? So that block sits in there, right, and it hasn't been broken in yet. So it's nice and tight on the rails. So every time it travels, it actually eats up the sides of the rails and starts wearing in more and more and more and more. And as time goes by, it gets smoother and smoother, and out of nowhere, your shotgun starts shooting 380, 390. Very true. Yeah, so TM 870s, yeah, that's one of my specialties, along with the Vector.
So I don't think people saw what you did when you rotated that on the backside.
Oh, sorry, I was just lining it up just to make sure, you know, it was vertical to the gearbox and stuff like that. It's just a pet peeve of mine. You don't really have to do that right now. It's just me doing that. You know, that's important later. So you just put this camera here and then hold it on the side like this. You can put your fingernail on it and hold it and just, you know, put that on there. Then after that, you got to make sure you put the mock bolt release. So the way you do that is this little part here, and you slide that in there like that, and you can hold it in place. You can leave it like that, and it'll actually hold the pressure on there without any screws or anything on there. And just flip it over. All right. Oh, that's slid out. Okay, it's gonna push back. Just gotta make sure it's lined up, because otherwise it'll definitely fall out like that. Okay, so there's that. Yeah, while you're doing this, you gotta hold the pressure from the mock bolt in your hand, and then grab this part, put it in there, and you start screwing it in. That's pretty much it. You want to make sure you don't over tighten this, because otherwise it's plastic on metal, so it'll definitely strip that other part right here, and then you're gonna have to replace it. Also, you notice how it's kind of crooked that way. You want to make sure you go back in there with a pair of pliers and just straighten it out, because otherwise the metal will eat up at the plastic on an angle, and then it won't catch right. Always make sure, you know, and it'll deform it, and it won't go into the square in the gearbox. So I want to make sure always tested. Oh, that works. And after that, you got a spring guide and string. Pop it back in there. Now, if you can't find a tool that fits in here without stripping or damaging the threads inside the spring guide, what you can always do is find something that kind of moves it into place a little bit, and push it in, start it, right? And then you can take your tool out and then grab a flathead and turn it, and it'll pop right into place. Okay, so just make sure the screws are there and all the parts are there. Okay, cool. So now when this is the part when it matters. Now you need to find this line right here in the middle of the selector, on the selector cam on this side. Make sure it is parallel to the gearbox, so 100%. And then after that, you flip it on the other side. Oop. You grab the cam, and then the cam itself is going to have a notch on it here, and then the gearbox is going to have a notch there. Just got to make sure you match them and make sure they're right on top of each other. Make sure you keep a finger on it so when you flip the gearbox over, it won't fall off. Okay, then after that, grab the wires, feed them through the body. All right, that selector's still at 40 degrees, 45 degrees, and just pop it right in and you're done. You're done doing that. Okay, so then you grab the back pin, pop it into place. Okay, right now you don't have to worry about this screw because you're going to need the pressure from both this, from the pistol grip and from the buffer tube to tighten this down, because otherwise if you don't, it's just going to sit there, spin and spin and spin. Then once you start shooting your gun, this screw, grab this. All right, make sure. Okay, so when it comes to the pistol grip, you want to make sure you tighten them somewhat, not all the way down, so you still have a little bit of wiggle room, right? Because what happens is that if you tighten the pistol grip on a Crytek way too much, it actually affects the selector here. It makes it really, really tight, and that's how that happens. You guys ever buy a Crytek and the selector is really, really tight? That's what that is because the from factory they put these on really, really tight, and then it pulls down on the gearbox on the selector, and it causes extra pressure on the selector, pulling it down and then causing it to get jammed and stuck. Okay, so in order to do that, you just tighten down a little bit and then test it, make sure it's not tight. Okay, and then do the same thing to the other one. Tighten it down until you can't go anymore. Don't over tighten to the point where it's like, you know, just tighten it down until you stop, and that's it. Because the plastic in here is actually pretty soft and grabs onto the screws really, really easily. Okay, so there's that. So now we just grab this, put the motor in. Always make sure the positive goes in the front, and the negative goes in the back. Okay, push that down. Okay, your motor plate, push it down. Okay, and then just grab the screws that go in there. Okay, that's that. Okay, so now I'm gonna grab this. This is the sling plate. Put it on. Okay, buffer tube.
How long have you been doing airsoft?
Well, I've been doing airsoft for going on almost 11 years. I actually started, name dropping, I started at Tac City. Yeah, like, I'm not gonna lie, somebody took a chance on me. You know, maybe their names are, you know, my old boss and stuff like that. They're really, really kind guys, you know, and they gave me a chance, like, and yeah, I just went with it. And
you grew.
And I grew. I grew by, you know, a lot of trial and error, but I was more than willing to learn from everybody there. And I got really lucky that I started up there with a bunch of guys that really, really, really loved airsoft, for one, and for two, knew 100 times more techniques and parts that I did. And also, yeah, I mean, eventually with time, I made manager and of the tech department, and you know, all that good stuff. And yeah, okay, cool. So we reminiscing way too much. Okay, so now we got the buffer tube on. Okay, so we got the screw. All right. So now this is the time where you actually put the screw back on, because then you'll have pressure pulling from the buffer tube and from the gearbox, from the pistol grip, pulling literally this way, so it'll have pressure on there. Now you can just pop that on there and actually tighten it down. Oh, see, that's what I get for reminiscing. I forgot the center body pin.
Yeah.
I know, right? Yeah, but it was a really good time then. I honestly, I'm gonna miss. I miss working there. You know, it was really fun. Bunch of people, you know, that everybody got along, and it was really great. Really, really good time. Oh yeah, and the players. Oof, there were some players that were good, some players that were bad. But I mean, I don't think that's changed over time. I think it's just kind of stayed the same. There's always bad and good out there, you know. So it's always important when you see a cheater, you know. Don't try to take it, you know, under your, you know, do it and handle it by yourself. Always let the ref know, because I did ref for quite a while too, and yeah, it never ends up good when you try to handle it yourself.
I think your favorite thing about teching there was when the kids came up and actually got to like talk to you. And you got to see what they wanted and individually help them build what they wanted to build.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, definitely.
That's why you started your own company.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it was one of those things where, you know, I know I could do better. You know, not better as in like, oh my God, I'm like super awesome and stuff like that, you know, and this, you know, no, it's just, I wanted to give more back to the community and just, you know, just give back more, you know. And it's just okay, so now the pin is in there.
Do you want to explain why you using a hammer is different than other techs?
Oh, yeah, that's right. Huh? Yeah, because everybody is probably looking at this thing and it's like, oh my God, it's a metal hammer. And it's like, yes, you're absolutely right. It is a metal hammer. And for some jobs, you know what I mean, it's definitely a little too much. But I mean, for popping in a pin like this, as you can see, there's like no scratches, no damage, no blemishes and stuff like that. And the reason why that is because it's a flat hammer, for one, and for two, I was a carpenter. So I was a carpenter for 2 years, and yeah, so a lot of people don't hit the hammer flat. They either go like this and bounce it off, or bounce it down. So I have a habit of just doing that, and that's pretty much it.
Hey, you got some rebuttal from one of your teammates saying you were one of the bad players, but if I recall, wasn't that the player who was on the bench all the time? Clone?
Oh, yeah. That's right, mister. I won a 40 RPS rifle, and I give it to him. Mm-hmm. That was always fun.
Good days, right?
Yep. Really, really good days.
What team was that?
Well, Clone was on.
Is that IOI and Raven?
No. That was with Brian. I mean, with Brian. Oh wow. Freaking, what's his face? Oh my God, my memory is so terrible these days because of all the stuff that's been going on.
Help us out, Clone. What was the team?
His team was. Oh my God. So terrible.
Oh, he said the gun's still broken.
Well, that's what
Send it in.
Yeah, that's what he gets for putting in that freakishly large battery that he had in his bag.
We'll give you the friend discount where we increase the price by 50%.
Yeah, that's right. Oh. Okay, so now we got that pin. Now we have everything in there. Okay, now let's see the buffer tube and the wiring. Sorry, you guys are gonna have to excuse me. I'm a little nervous, not gonna lie. I've never done anything like this before, and actually, explain and do everything, explain and talk about everything that I'm doing. Sorry, I'll get better at it with time, I hope. Oh yeah, that's right. I remember now. It was Rogue.
Rogue. Oh.
Yeah, yeah. No, but freaking.
Was that with Richard?
Yeah, that was with Richard and all those guys.
Was Vince on that one?
Yes, Vince was also on there.
And Ray.
And Ray, yes.
Ray.
Yes, he was on. He's still on that too. I think they're still on.
And Pablo.
And Pablo too, yeah. I think they're still active, but I'm not too sure. But okay, so now we put that screw on there, and then we go to the other side. Put on the opposite selector. No, it's not the right side.
We have a direct message that came into our personal inbox. Someone says, what is your favorite gun to build a high speed out of? What is your specialty?
Oh, okay. Well, that's kind of, it's debatable, honestly, because, okay, so the Vector is definitely a close second. It's pretty good. I can do what I want with it and stuff like that. But definitely it would be from a ground up build, and what I mean by that is that I get a body and I replace it with a Retroarms gearbox, 13-to-1 gears, NSK ball bearings, basically build the gearbox from the ground up and drop it into a body that I like, that I know the gearbox fits, and just use that. That'll definitely be a lot of fun. And okay, so here we are. We're gonna put on the upper receiver on there. Make sure you slide it on there. Make sure you push on the mock bolt catch to catch it. Okay. Sometimes what's gonna happen with all guns, I think VFC does it and KDA do it too. I know those two for sure. Is that you have to pull on the mock bolt lever right here, and then you just have to pull it a little bit, and the upper and the lower will click into place into each other.
Follow-up question on the DM for the Vector. What are the RPS and FPS stats when you're done with those, and how many rounds do you put through it for testing before you send it back?
Well, okay. When it comes to the testing and stuff, I test, like, I know it's gonna sound kind of weird, but I test it until I feel that the gun is right. Like, it could be 700, it could be 1200, it could be 15, it could be even 2000 rounds. Like, if I don't feel like the gun is right, I am not gonna release the gun, for one. For two, usually I try to keep most of the original wiring and everything, with the Vector, only because the wiring is proprietary. I did see one person that was extremely talented, that actually built in a Jeftron MOSFET system into Crytek. I saw a couple of pictures and stuff like that, and it was pretty good. Like, and but yeah, I mean, that build was good. But I mean, with the stock wiring, I can actually get it to 29 rats a second using ASG 30K, 13-to-1 motor, 13-to-1 gears, short stroked, and with the tablet plate just a little modified for spice, and it feeds proper every single shot. Oh, and also keeping the stock M120 on there. Now, if no, I'm sorry, M120. Oh my gosh, it's an M100. And then if you want to sit here and go like a little outdoors, you're more than welcome to. Okay, all right, let's plug this in and see
and
how
what is
she
the
does.
FPS you were able to keep with that 29 RPS?
Anywhere from 335 to 340. So, okay. Otherwise, that MOSFET system really can't handle too much. Let's see how it does. Oh yeah, always make sure if you're going to test your gun, point it down. Sounds a little screechy, only because all the gears and the motors and everything is still stock, as you guys saw. Okay, so that's that one. This one was completely stock. Okay, so now.
Oh, nice. Looks like Jay Gonzalez on here. His vector's at 23 RPS.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
Nice, good job. If you did that yourself, that's actually not bad for that. Actually pretty good. Now I do. Oh, I left the bag in the box. Okay, and we're done with this gun actually. Okay. Okay, so now I have the butt pad on. Everything's back on the gun. Not a single scratch. As you can tell, everything works. You know, how can it adjust? Bolt release. Release. Okay, and that's pretty much it for this one. Okay, and yeah, so now this rifle is done, and I have to do a bunch of QC to it to make sure it doesn't break or gear strip or anything like that. If you're planning to upgrade your own Crytek, just remember that the bevel and the pinion gear do strip quite easily. So if you decide to just drop in like a ASG, 35K or 40K or just some higher end motor in there, and you're expecting the motor to the bevel gear to last, it's not. It will strip extremely quickly after you drop it in. I mean, it might be like a couple hundred rounds or maybe 2,000, but it will strip. And just got to make sure that if you're going to do that and drop in a new motor, you're going to have to switch to a new bevel and pinion gear. And honestly, I recommend the Lonex helical bevel and pinion gear. Those have actually worked really well for every single build that I've thrown together so far. That everybody's wanted upgrade and changed anything on the gearbox. Also, we're gonna start with the Crytek specifically. We're gonna start offering hopefully milling. Well, not hopefully, we're gonna start milling our own gears to fit specifically in all the Cryteks. Also, we do pretty much anything VFC, ASG, APS. Unfortunately, the gearbox on APSs are proprietary, and the MOSFET that are in there is proprietary. But if you change out the gearbox completely, they can be upgraded also.
We have a question on here. Do you accept work on TM recoil shocks?
Yeah, which one, the SCAR or the M4? I mean, we've done both. I mean,
go ahead and wait for a response on that one.
Okay. Okay, so the next one.
And that's going to be the SCAR H.
Oh, the SCAR H? Oh, yeah. Did you want it to shoot 400? Yeah, it's definitely gonna need quite a bit of upgrades, and I'm not gonna lie, since it's a very proprietary system, and for one, and for two, has a big block of metal that it moves around. So the piston, automatically the piston has to be changed. I do believe there's some aftermarket motors, and I know there's a piston, the motors, and there is an aftermarket gear set, if I remember right. Oh yeah, and also if you decide to send your gun out to us before November 1st, we're definitely offering 10% off when it comes to labor on the guns, and to make sure, you know. Oh yeah, and that's for reaching 100 followers. Yeah, that's right.
We have one here. How about AKs? What do you recommend?
Ooh, AKs. Wow, awesome. Okay.
Well, you're working on my AK right now too.
Yeah, yours is the mid-grade SEMA.
Mid-grade, ouch.
It's mid-grade. If you want to go high grade and go 100%, like I have absolutely, you know, no money limit or anything like that, then you're definitely gonna have to go with the LCT. Like there's no ifs or buts about it. Like those are the top of the line AK variants. The only problem with them is that the magazines are a little proprietary. So you're either gonna have to really stick with the LCT magazines, like no matter what, or you're gonna have to shop around like a lot to find a magazine that fits in there. And you're probably going to have like a 10% chance finding a magazine that fits in there. Okay, so let's continue. Okay, with the pressure still on from the grip. Okay, gotta make sure. Got this. There we go. Broke easy. There's
that. You're welcome, Raymond, for the answer, and for I think it's Nico is how you pronounce that. He's asking, what is your personal gun? What isn't your personal gun, really?
What is my personal gun? Okay. That's the question.
Oop, time for a cameo.
That's a question. Okay. So if we're talking, like, I'm going to have to put this down for a second.
Oh, you just got excited.
Okay, so if we're talking about, like, my personal rifle itself. Let me see if I can grab it.
1 second. He's digging. You got him excited.
Okay, there we go. Alright, so now I grab it. So, I'm going to have to put this one aside for a second. Also, I'm using right now this A5 416, HK 416. It has been modified, completely gutted out. As you can see, has a retro arms blue gearbox in there. Along with the max hop-up unit.
Store.
So,
dang. Yeah,
with the max hop-up unit, I mean, tracer unit in the front. You know, I actually found this ACOG, which with a working fiber optic on top at Amazon. They actually have it for like $60 or something like that. And I put a Raptor style, racking arm. So works pretty good. But yeah. Oh, you want to plug it in?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. I'll plug it in.
And then shout out to Leo on here.
Oh, hi Leo. You can see. So Danny, if this has a BB in it, can I see you?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay.
Would be the first time.
Oh yeah.
I think it's actually like.
That's true.
Yeah.
Okay, so put a battery on it. Let's see what it sounds like. Full auto. Oh yeah, that's right. I left it on semi.
You semi-locked it.
I semi-locked it because we went to tack.
Yeah. When you play at one of our local fields, you can't have it go.
Yep. Oh yeah, by the way, I keep forgetting. That's also only a 2000 watt 20C battery that I'm running this on. Nothing super crazy.
Approximately how much money did you spend on it or put into it?
Oh, on this gun? Oh my god. I think I'm pushing around 1400.
And then what's your RPS and FPS?
Okay. So the FPS right now is sitting at 345.
Close to our field limit.
Yeah. You know, where we go play, it's indoor, and 345, but I have to semi-lock it because it's shooting 42 rounds a second. So
42 rounds a second.
Yeah.
With a 3 FPS deviation.
Yeah, okay.
3 FPS deviation. And then his pistol.
Yeah, okay.
Dun, 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 dun,
and then fine, I guess I'll
this will definitely, for those of you
sidearm.
who know who this is, this will definitely let you know.
Yeah. So there's only 2 of these apparently in the United States that exist that I've seen. So, and that is the gun that I like using. I use it only once in a while. It's like a very rare thing. As you can see, it's very clean, very well taken care of.
Hella accurate.
So there's no scratches. Oh, and the X300, yes, it is real. It is 100% real. See, surefire.
Is your ACOG for sale?
No, actually, it's not. Like I said.
Sorry, Leo.
Sorry, Leo. I told you I found it on Amazon. See, and yeah, I used this gun like once in a blue moon, only because it's definitely a lot more expensive than the rifle, and it's pushing anywhere from, I think it was 1,300 to, no, actually close to 15 now because of the surefire. So yeah, I rarely use that on the field.
Did you show the trigger on that?
What? Oh,
how soft it is?
The reset. Okay, so this. Okay, so there's this. So there was that. Okay.
That's true. This is probably going to go up in price after the new Spider-Man movie comes out.
Yeah, I know, right? So, reset. Fire. Okay, and then that, and then you hear the click on the reset. That was it. It's like a super soft reset.
All right, so we're actually just about at 45 minutes on this. Oh. If you want us to keep going, go ahead and give us some hearts or some thumbs up in the comments. We'll keep going. He's clearly got a few more guns to work on before he goes to bed. Yeah. So we'll still be up if you guys want to keep watching. Otherwise, if we don't hear a response from you guys, we'll call it a night.
Yup.
Ooh, you got a lot of hearts.
Oh.
All right.
Really?
Oh. Well, thank you guys. We appreciate the love.
Thank you.
We'll keep going.
All right. Well. All right, let's keep going then. Okay, so we got that motor in there. Okay, so this one was another one that I think spit out plastic through the nozzle. Mm-hmm. If I remember right, my sticky note fell off.
That was needs pistol head and cylinder head.
Oh yeah. Okay, cool. So we're gonna be replacing it with.
If you guys saw that in the Instagram, that was this one.
It was one of them. There was 2 of them. I think that one was the other one that we posted, but this one I think was pretty close to that.
Oh yeah, this is the one that's split in the middle.
On the inside, yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So okay. So we're gonna be putting in a standard cylinder head and Angel Customs piston head.
So we have a comment saying you definitely need to do more of this, and another one, have you ever thought about making a YouTube channel and posting speed up repairs?
Oh, speed up repair. Oh, well, yeah, definitely. We should definitely do that. As you can tell, guys, we're We're growing. We're starting up. We definitely, would appreciate the support and, all the opinions that we can get so that we can get better at this, and we can definitely help the community grow and become better. And, because, I mean, we don't want to just, like tell you guys, sit here and tell you guys like, oh, wait, you want to shoot 40 RPS? No, we can't do that. Like, we shouldn't do that. Like,
no,
what you guys want is what you're going to get. So if you tell me, okay, I do have a limit of 50 RPS, and that's like my absolute 100% limit.
We're not here to help you, like, hurt somebody and, like, drill holes through them, okay?
Exactly. That's like my ultimate limit, and that's it. But, I mean, we're talking like it's going to be an extremely expensive build if you tell me that I want 50 RPS, and I'm not going to lie to you about it, and I'm not going to tell you, hey, I can do it for cheap. No, I'm definitely going to tell you exactly how much it is and what parts, and those higher end builds is the only time that I do get picky on what parts go in the gun, because I've been doing this for so long, and I really honestly, the number one thing that I go for is never seeing your gun again. I don't ever want to see it again. Like, that is my number one goal. Like, if I can make you a gun and I don't see it again, I did my job right.
It's kind of like when you go to the doctor or the dentist and they're like, okay, see you again soon. You're like, I'd rather not.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, pretty much. It's the same thing. It's the same mentality that I have, and I've done this, like I said, for years, and I don't do it just because like I want money and stuff like that. I do this because I like to do it. I love doing this, and this is who I am. I've been doing this for way too long to, I guess, BS the system. And tell you, oh yeah, this will happen because, I say so. No, it'll happen because I do my job right.
Ooh, you got more support. They definitely want you to do a YouTube. We are slowly starting to build our social media platforms. We started with Instagram. It's easy to maneuver. We did launch our Facebook page, so if you want to look for us on Facebook.
Yep.
Our next things that we are looking into, so you can kind of keep an eye out for that, we are looking for YouTube, Patreon, and Discord. We're not there yet. We do have to kind of start getting the ball rolling before we launch everything at once, or we're gonna drown. But we are excited.
Yep. Now, if for some reason you call our phone number, we do have a business line, by the way, so you guys can call any time, Monday through Saturday.
You have it Sunday.
Oh yeah. Sunday. Sorry, 7 days a week. Sorry about that. Okay, but on the weekends it's only from 11 to 3, and
weekdays
on
are 11
weekdays
to 7.
At 11 to 7. Yeah, because the weekends we do need some personal time.
If you're looking for our number, it's going to be 909-791-0978. Right now we are primarily working for LA, Orange County, San Bernardino areas, but we have been getting a lot of requests recently from Texas, especially a few people out of state. We are looking to get a P.O. box and try and branch out. We haven't quite reached that point yet where we're ready to launch.
Yeah.
But it is something we're considering.
Yeah. Only because I honestly, I like the person-to-person, interactions and stuff like that, where I get to talk to you guys and get your opinion and stuff, and then you tell me, what you want to do. And I like that interaction, because after the past year and a half, no, I'm so tired of the masks. I don't know about you guys. I know we still have to wear them, but I'm so tired of them. And having some human interaction, it's nice.
Can we get a thumbs up if you guys can hear us? It seems like we may have lost sound. Oh, perfect. Looks like they can hear us.
Oh, okay, cool. All right, let's see.
Right. We have a question. How long approximately does it take for you to upgrade a gun? We know it's subjective to each individual. I know right now, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, we have 11 guns.
Yeah.
In line right now, due to our promotion.
Yeah. Well, I mean, right now I'm working on them, and I mean, upgrading. I mean, it depends on honestly what you want. If you just want a Aster, you know, and a piston change. Oh, there it is. Yep, this is one of those, as you can tell. Aster, piston change, and maybe some adjustments on on the gearbox and stuff like that, then it's definitely I would say at the top are probably like 2 hours. So it'd be like $80 if you want just like a piston change, Aster install, and you know, a good cleaning and tuning all the way around. You know, make sure it feeds.
We are a small business right now, so we are doing our own parts runs right now. We don't have like a huge plethora of employees who can just run all over the state to pick up parts for us. So the turnaround time for a gun right now is about 5 to 8 days.
Yeah, just about.
You know, we do get them back. We do have a really solid warranty on them too.
Yeah. Also if let's say you can't pick up your gun within that time, we'll hold on to your gun until you're ready to pick it up.
Within reason. I mean, if you leave it with us for 5 years, quite frankly, it's mine.
Okay, all right. Yeah, and that's fair. Well, we're talking about like, hey, you know, I need to, you know, put the money together for like a month or whatever, and it takes a month or something like that. Then yeah, we're gonna sit here and work with you. But you got to remember, you got to talk to us in order for us to know exactly, you know, what's going on. Because if you don't say anything, then we don't know what's going on. And as you can see in this gearbox, that's exactly what happened. Gun didn't talk, and it failed.
Ray says you need to offer tech classes.
Me? Mm-hmm. What? Tech classes?
Nico says, good to know. Would love to make a video of the whole thing when he sends his in. His job is marketing, so he would love to give us some content.
Oh, that'd be nice. Awesome. Thank you, sir. Really appreciate it.
And if I remember correctly, Nico, you have a bunch of cars on your page, correct? Guys, check it out. Like, those are some pretty slick-looking cars.
Yep. Okay. Yep.
Not that I'm, like, Facebook stalking or Instagram stalking anybody, I promise.
Okay, so as you can see,
I like to like pictures back and give back to people.
I know.
You guys give us a like, we'll give you guys likes.
I know. So as you guys can tell, the servo pad actually failed on this aftermarket cylinder head. I think this looks like a matrix cylinder head, and it just failed like completely and ate up the front of the piston. So yeah, I had a feeling that was going to happen because of the debris of the plastic, but yeah, I didn't think it was going to be this bad. Okay, so this is definitely out, and now we got to take the piston off. I mean the piston head, sorry.
And just to go back to the warranties, guys, we're a pretty basic, you know, no hidden contract kind of people here.
Yeah.
You know, if we do the work, we're going to stand behind our work. Now, if you come in and you say, I insist on using these gears, and we tell you, hey, you're using, you know, plastic to metal, you know, combinations, they're going to eat each other up and the gun's going to break, and you say, no, I insist you put this in, we're going to tell you, okay, we'll put it in, but we're not going to warranty that because it's going to break.
Yep.
Same thing if we say, you know, hey, we built this to be, you know, perfect on a 7.4 battery. If you throw in an 11.1, you're going to mess things up. And you come in and it's broken, and we say, oh, what battery did you use? And you say 11.1. Like, we have the notes for each firearm that we send back. So small things like that, similar to other tech companies, if you open the gun and you modify our work, that does void the warranty as well. Mm-hmm. But aside from that, we're pretty black and white. If it breaks based on work we did, you know, send it back, we'll take care of it. You know, if we do something where we do like a downgrade, you know, and for whatever reason, heaven forbid, the FPS isn't where you wanted it, send it back.
Don't try to open it yourself.
Don't try to open it yourself. But if we do a downgrade and your bevel gear breaks, you know, those are not really related. So, I mean, you're more than welcome to send it in to us, but that wouldn't be covered on the warranty of a downgrade, if that makes sense. If you have any questions, you guys could always reach out to us about that as well.
Yeah, and to expand on that a little bit, all right? So the reason why a bevel gear, and you're actually right on that, Danny. Just by chance, you happen to be right on that. Woo! Okay. So the reason
I listen.
So the reason why the bevel gear would break if you downgrade the spring is because the gears are moving faster, therefore they're vibrating faster, and they're in a softer metal there on the bevel and the pinion gear. So yeah, that would definitely cause them to break and definitely cause them to literally shatter inside your gun. So if you're doing a downgrade on a cheaper gun, like let's say one of the old school SEMAs, you know, then yeah, it's gonna break with a downgrade. Like it won't take like a short amount of time, but it probably like maybe within that year of you doing that downgrade, it will break, you know, and then you're gonna be stuck. So these are the little things like that I've taken over time and actually you know, compiled over the years that I've done this that not a lot of people think about.
And we are honest. Like if you tell us what you want to do and we can predict issues, we'll be upfront with you. And like I know some of you are used to the car salesman where they just throw on stuff to throw on stuff. We're not like that. Yeah. If we're throwing something on, it's because we don't want your gun to break, like he said. Yeah. We never want to see your gun again. Like once we put it back there and we give it back to you and we say, okay, this is good to go, it's going to last, we expect it to last. And so if there's, you know, a recommendation that we have that could help prolong the life of your gun, we're going to recommend it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. Like,
you do have a question on here real quick. Do you guys convert front wire tightens to the rear?
We could do that. The problem actually doing it has to do with the shielding. Okay, so actually I could actually show you guys right here. It has to do with the shielding that's actually on the soldering. So what they do is that they throw like a plastic coating on the connectors here so that they won't cause any short circuit and stuff like that of the power. This is the remote wire. I believe this one is the negative and this one is the positive, if I remember right. No, backwards. That's the negative, that's the positive. So they do a coating on here, and unfortunately, since the wiring is so tight on here, right, it actually adding heat to the connectors actually moves the chips. I've seen people do it, and I have done it myself. It's just you need a very flat surface. You need not a heat table, but you need a specialized jig table to actually hold it in place. And you definitely need to take your time to actually remove these wires. Because if any of the transistors or capacitors actually move or shift a little tiny bit, yeah, you're going to have a really hard time putting it all back together where it was. And, you know, and it kind of sucks because you need specialized equipment. Well, not a specialized, but you need a tester to go through each one of the diodes and each one of the capacitors, and yeah, it's a long process. It could be done, yes, but it's a long process. And honestly, I probably end up charging like 3 hours just for that, only because, you know, probably like 2 hours. Only because, like I said, I would want to take my time in order for all those you know, components not to be shifted. Okay. Oh, I knew I was forgetting something. The Loctite.